A Spanish footballing icon takes to Twitter and comes out seemingly as gay, and his version is then corroborated by another Spanish footballing legend who hints that there may have actually been some sort of a hidden romance between the two, only for both of them to subsequently go on and delete their tweets, then issue apologies to the LGBTQ community as well as other people who may have been offended. If that sounds like some sort of a nonsensical story that I've concocted off the top of my head, rest assured that wasn't actually the case, because that actually happened and it left a lot of people very confused or grasping for a few answers. Now, obviously, we don't have all the answers when it comes to, things like this, but we are going to quickly go over what it is that happened. And in fact, we did go over it in a previous video. You can check that out on the channel if you haven't already. But for now, as it turns out, any claims of this man, Casillas Puyol, have been debunked, and any claims that Carlos Puyol was also not just gay but also apparently a partner of Casillas have also been debunked. And it really brings to mind another thing of, sensitivity and knowing what to joke about in today's day and age. But we'll get to that part of the debate in a bit. First off, let's actually take a look at what exactly it was that happened. Casillas, remember, put out a tweet on Twitter saying that he was gay, and I tweet saying, Iker, it's time for us to tell our story. Now, suspicions really went sky high when Casillas later deleted the tweet. And because he deleted his tweet, even Puyol's tweet or his response to that was nowhere to be found. Now, a few hours later, Casillas put out a statement, and his statement read as such on Twitter. This is what's written in Spanish, and this is of course a translation that we use in the translation app. So he said that my account got hacked. Luckily, now everything is in order. I apologize to all of my followers, and of course I offer more apologies to the LGBT community. Seems pretty straightforward in theory, at least. But the real question was then that if Casillas was supposedly hacked, then what about Puyol? Because his answer seemed fairly straightforward and it didn't exactly seem too out of character at that point. Well, Puyol put out a statement of his own, and it was a little lengthier because obviously he said that I've made a mistake, and this is a translation of his tweet because it was in Spanish. Sorry for a clumsy joke with no bad intentions and one that was totally out of place. I understand that it may have hurt sentiments. All of my respect and support for the LGBTQIA plus community. Now, again, with Casillas, he said that he was hacked. Puyol, however, has directly come out and said that, look, I was making a joke. It didn't exactly go down very well, and I realized that it may have hurt some people, so I am sending my sincerest and heartfelt apologies. Now, again, the real thing is that, it's actually not the best of looks for either of them. And granted, we know that they come from a slightly different generation. Of course, both of them are now retired players, but it does raise a lot of questions about what exactly it is that you should joke about and what it is that you should joke about. And quite frankly, it's not a great look for either of them. Why do I say that? Well, because Casillas supposedly, and this is again where we reach into the world of a rumor and hearsay, is that one of the reasons he actually put out that tweet was to stop Spanish tabloids from actually linking him to more and more random women. Now, I understand his frustration when it comes to seeing your name linked to a lot of random women, and in fact, one of the women that he was reportedly linked to was Shakira, who, as was in fact the girlfriend of Gerard Piqué. So it would be frustrating seeing stories cooked up about you and put about in the tabloids and then treated as gospel truth by many. But the response to that isn't to proclaim I'm gay so that people actually stop linking you to women. All it does is actually, create another controversy to distract from the original controversy, which is exactly what happened here. And with Casillas, again, a lot of people have suspicions that, he wasn't actually hacked, and that this is just some sort of an explanation that he's giving to people now, saying that, what, I didn't mean to tweet that, my account was hacked, I'm so sorry. Because right after a few hours after his original tweet, and by the way, it stayed up for an eternity, there was a report in the Spanish press, in of course AS, which is a Madrid-based newspaper, which said that he came up with this to actually stop tabloids from gossiping about him. So again, as I said, if it's indeed a joke or done in an ironic manner, it's not really done in very good taste, especially when you consider the kind of society that we live in today. Now, this isn't a criticism of woke politics or anything of the sort. I think it's actually great that people are more aware of what it is that they say and aren't just blurting out things just because it may seem funny. But the simple fact of the matter is that given we live in times like these where everyone is holding you accountable for what it is you say, not just in the public sphere but also on social media, it's probably best that you avoid such a topic, especially if it might seem like you're poking at something that may seem, a joke in poor taste at best, and at worst discriminatory. Footballers at the end of the day are role models, and they do have a certain responsibility for setting the right standards for society or for people who actually admire them. And this was, if anything, an example of what it is that you shouldn't be doing and something that you should be avoiding touching, even with a 10-foot pole. If Casillas wanted to set the rumors straight about, his dating life or lack of it thereof, it would just be easier if he addressed it directly on social media, or he didn't just address it at all, because if you address these things, generally speaking, it gets a lot more traction. What he did, proclaim to jokingly be gay, or if he says, he was hacked, so you could probably believe that too, doesn't really set a very good example. And as for Puyol, again, it wasn't the greatest of responses, but at least I like the fact that he took cognizance of that, owned his mistake and apologized. All in all, it was a very weird, almost very confusing tale for many people, because they didn't really know what exactly was going on. And as it turns out, it may just very well have been much ado about nothing, or at least that's how I feel. What do you guys think? Is this something that people should maybe have taken in better taste, or was it something that should have been avoided altogether? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like the video if you enjoyed it, and of course subscribe to the channel, share this video with your friends, and of course tap the bell icon so you know when it is we're going live or uploading a new video for you guys. Then you can go ahead and follow us on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram, and last but not least, download the AajTak app. Thank you all once again for joining us. As always, I've been Shane Reyes, and I hope to see you join us through the day as we bring you the latest from the world of sport. But for now, goodbye.